Thanks for checking out Symphony on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.
I don't know. I got the information like any other person. Until I get to the committee and I say anything contrary to what we agreed on. As at yesterday night, those things were flying around. It was actually a contentious issue at the committee level, but I think we reached certain positions. So I want to believe that nobody will attempt to do otherwise. That's my assumption. So though, however, I'm aware of that information, but I cannot speak to those things because I'm privileged to be a member of the committee.
So
I should get to the committee and say anything different from what we did before I could say it.
You said it was a contentious issue. Why was it? What aspect in particular was contentious?
Struggle about electronic transfer or not. If you remember, the 8th Assembly amended the same bill, and for whatever reason, the president refused assent. One of the two major amendment was electronic voting, voters card used as a recognized, and I don't know how to put it, the need for everybody to go through accreditation via electronic what do you call it? Card reader, then the electronic transfer. So at the last amendment in the Assembly, the card reader and electronic transfer was agreed on, but was not signed on. So we came around now. There are those who have arguments about the technicality, the infrastructure to do some of those things. Those are the reasons why they were contentious. And we reached certain position. Like I said,
was there a consensus
yes.
at the end of your deliberation?
Yes.
So what was the consensus?
The consensus was that in section 52, that is on the card reader, there was no contention. Everybody agreed. But on electronic transfer, the agreement was that the commission should be allowed to take decision on what is appropriate for the election. Some of us had contrary view. We wanted it to be that they should use electronic transfer. So what I hear from yesterday to date is that there's another clause that said electronic transfer should never be used at all. I don't want to believe that is the position. The two position was make it a law, insert in the amendment that it must be electronic, or allow the commission decide it.
So, okay, let's get your view. You also worked on it. So which one made your final copy before you submitted to the leadership of the National Assembly in this issue?
At the committee stage.
Okay,
well, as he rightly said, that was what we agreed on the technical committee level, that elections should be transmitted electronically, except where there are other issues, especially some remote areas, or, as it's usual with electronic devices, you may encounter some hitches here and there. So it was left open that it should be captured where it is reasonably practicable. Electronic transfer, voting and transmission of result should be used. And where it is impracticable, then other means should be used. I also I saw it online yesterday. I was coming from my constituency when I read it, and I won't be able to say yes or no now, because the committee is even having yet to sit to. So I haven't seen the final copy yet, but we know what we work on at the technical committee. But all this might be rumor. Yeah, until one has the copy, there's no way the copy will not be presented to the committee before even it's presented to the
because
House.
Margaret, you talked about a copy. I have a copy here, and I want to read it directly to you two. Section 50, sub 1 and 2. Let me take sub 1 first. Voting at an election under this bill shall be by open, secret ballot. Sub 2. Voting at an election under this bill shall be in accordance with the procedure determined by the Commission, which may include electronic voting, provided that the Commission shall not transmit results of elections by electronic means?
No, I'm not.
Are you doubting that this is not possible?
I'm not sure that's
not our report.
That's not your report.
I'm not sure that's what we work on.
Is there a possibility of what was done at the technical committee being tampered? Because I suppose the technical committee, after you had done your work, you had submitted it to the committee as a whole.
Well, you see, I won't be able to say that you have the final copy. So let's hold what you have now until it is presented to the House. But I know that...
Are you going to have a second review, another review by the committee before it's presented to the House?
No, the committee will actually sit and then, of course, discuss before you go and present.
So it's also possible to make some other amendments at the committee level. Is that what you're saying?
No, you see, even though it's a work of the technical committee, it has not even been placed in the House yet. So some may go through, some may not, depending on what the House...
The procedure is what I wanted to understand.
Yeah.
The technical committee has done its job. What is next after that?
The committee as a whole.
Yes.
It's a technical committee. If members of the committee, some members were selected to become members of the technical committee. So what is done in the technical committee comes to the committee on electoral matters.
The entire committee.
And the entire committee look at it and does it before it goes to the House. So for now, we have not transited from technical committee
to the House.
To the committee. To the committee. Until you finish that before you go to the House. So and I'm sure that will be done the next few days. So I still don't want to believe that what you read is the copy. I was privileged. We worked on this in January.
Yeah.
I was privileged to be part of it. And I'm aware of what was couched.
So it may be a fake bill that is circulating, isn't it?
I'm not still comfortable with the position the committee took. I would have preferred electronic transfer. Even when the infrastructures are not available, and maybe there's hitches, once you send it, the moment you get to where there's it will come. The time you send it will show. And what have you? I mean, in 2011 election, that was the first time we card reader and what have you. In the presidential election, almost everything was done in that. Without card reader, you don't vote until the idea of incident form. And it was transmitted. Why? The idea is to have, at the polling unit, when you vote, both parties, everybody there is aware and endorse the result. That's what is the hard copy is transmitted immediately. So at the end of the day, if there's anything different allocated to that unit on the hard copy anyway, you can now go back to the link transfer to confirm. And one thing about such is that it's difficult to erase those data. Even when you erase, it can still be retrieved. That was why we feel that, hey, Senegal did election, they used electronic, Ghana did. What's the big deal? WAEC, JAM is electronic now. So why is it difficult for us to go in that direction? Right. We're not saying electronic voting yet, but we're saying the card reader must capture you to the result must be transmitted electronically. So as that's my position. But the court was agreed was that it should be done where applicable, that the commission should decide that.
That's transmission of results. Where applicable.
So voting and transmission.
But this last clause that you brought is alien to what I know about it.
All right, Mr. Magaji, Honorable Magaji, we just spoke to Pa Ayo Okbadoku before you came on set, and he raised a number of issues regarding electronic transmission of voting. Some of the issues you also said came up during your debate. Some people are saying Nigeria is not ripe. You mentioned Ghana, you mentioned some of the other places where you have steady power supply, for instance, where you have people that you can say you trust, where maybe technology hacking may not be as rampant as it is in some parts of the world too. So, do you think Nigeria is ripe?
Sincerely, I will tell you Nigeria is ripe. The reason is that, listen, we all have, if you don't travel to your villages, we go to villages. And right now, in many of the villages we have in Nigeria right now, even this POS is being used. It's electronic. I've been to villages where I was stranded, I didn't have cash, and somebody said there's one kiosk somewhere, somehow. In a village, you can't believe it. And I was able to make bank transfer. I was able to catch some money. These are electronics. And if you are subjecting our youth, our young men, electronic registration of WIEC, electronic registration of JAM, electronic everything, then right now, even in villages, we are going now to register people in this name registration.
Even
and how is it
INEC.
carried out? It's electronic.
Even INEC.
Voters registration right now that they have started, you need to register electronically. You understand? You go online and register before you are captured. I believe the general public is yearning for credible electoral process in Nigeria. And then with technology right now, electronic voting will reduce the issue of ballot box snatching. The electronic voting will reduce the issue of disruption of election, and then even rigging of election. Because there are, I was privileged to see one of the electronic machine. You go there and then the parties are displayed, and then you click the party you want to vote. It goes right to the server, and then there's also a docket that, you know how we use our ATM machine. There is a hard copy that drops. You can't open it. Once you vote, the party you vote, you will go down. So the electronic is connected to the server, and of course, INEC told us the other time that they had a server.
Yeah, they said they had a server, although they said they didn't use the server for the 2019 election. But Magaji, the point I want to make, I know that there was an experimentation with electronic voting in your state, in Kaduna State, in the local council election, I think in 2018. Tell us, how was it?
It was fantastic. And honestly, I have to commend our governor for that innovation. And right now, we have election on the 14th of August, the council election, and it's going to be electronic. The election was supposed to be this month or June, and then it was shifted to August because of some of the hitches in the electronic, I think the battery of the machine that didn't arrive or will not arrive before the day of the election. So the governor in his wisdom decided, and then the CCOM, that the election will be postponed to the later date. And then the election is going to be electronic. And we did it, and it worked fantastic.
How did you capture the elderly, for instance, or those who are not, technology savvy, who want to participate in an election? How did you capture that in
the logos of the parties are displayed. How do these people go to bank? How do they get money from the bank? And I sincerely do not understand why people will say we can't be benchmarked with Ghana, Senegal, if it can happen there. They don't. Senegal had an election, is a year or two ago, 2019, I guess. There was no holiday. Schools were not closed. People went to work. It was a normal day because they allowed this infrastructure. So are you saying that Senegal is more advanced technology more than Nigeria? It's about the will. It's about people believing that if we move this way, it will reduce my ability to appropriate vote the way I appropriate vote. Like he said, if truly we want to be seen as a serious nation, we must move to a level where elections are reasonably credible. Part of the reason why you have this agitation is that people feel that their right and their will are not being respected, that the result you see is because, even if it's not real, when you perceive that way, it is natural, it will generate certain tendencies. So we are not even saying electronic voting yet. Not electronic voting.
Okay, electronic voting is not captured in this bill?
What we are saying is card reader first, then transmission of result, because it is believed that between polling unit and what have you, certain things happen and people rejig figures. So the idea is once it is transmitted electronically, it is there. See, if you are in a remote area where there is no infrastructure and you do it, you would not go. But the moment you step into where, just like on your phone, you go to a place where there's no service and somebody sends you an SMS. When you get to where there's service, what happens?
It
drops.
Honorable Yusuf.
So why are we making it look as if...
Okay, let me bring in Magiji here. Because you've said that you didn't actually create provisions for electronic voting simpliciter in the technical committee work, which you did. INEC has already taken a step ahead.
Yeah.
It announced, I think last month, that it's already receiving proposals for electronic voting machines.
Yeah.
Are they on the right legal footing to go ahead with that?
Yes.
Open, yeah.
It's open.
It was
In the technical committee, there were things that we
Did they make a presentation during your public hearing?
yeah.
And it covered electronic voting.
Yes.
And electronic voting machines.
Different stakeholders came. In fact, it received so many contributions from different. In fact, it was when you see the participation of Nigerians on the issue of this on this electoral amendment, you know that Nigerians generally, in every sphere of life, are really interested in credible election. Because we receive a memorandum from different parts of NLC, security, government, private, all sorts. We receive a memorandum from people like that. And now the committee now sat down, the technical committee now sat down and said, okay, INEC is the principal practitioner of the election process. And then they have gathered some experience over the years. And we cannot box them into, by the way, the law is made for man and not man for law. So anyhow, any law you are going to enact should be working, should be practical.
So while you didn't expressly say that election shall be by electronic voting, you made it open for INEC to be discretionary.
Yeah, because INEC even said that they have tried in some areas. Yeah, like my state that you rightly said. And it was a fantastic
But that was organized by the states.
Of course, if it can be organized by state, that is, it shows that it can also be organized, because whatever you think of Kaduna, it can be replicated anywhere in Nigeria.
But could raise concerns about the huge cost of technology.
We have crossed that. 2000, if you remember very well, 2011 election, huge investment was made into this. We have gone beyond 80% of the investment. The major infrastructures have been procured. But like you say, we are not even saying especially it must be. But we are saying the process, since the intention of when people amend laws is that you have done election, you've done something, you see certain limitations in the law. The intention is to improve on it. Since 2015, since 1999, it was this last election that we didn't amend the Electoral Act. Now that's, to me, some of the most, that's an incredible election, because we didn't plug the loopholes we saw in 2015. So what we are saying that is that if we noticed this in 2015, wanted to amend in 2019, we didn't work. 2023 election, we now go back to 2015 amendment. No, we should be seen as saying, hey, these areas are not good. That's how human society grew. You improve on yourself.